Welcome back to the channel, good friends. Brian from Apex Detail. Today we're going to take a close look at the ShineMate EX620 515 Orbital Polisher. This comes in at $285, and there are a couple versions. There's the EX610, EX620, there's the 515, the 521, so something to look into. As we take a closer look, what comes with the polisher, the extra set of brushes, the Allen key for the backing plate, comes with a 5-inch backing plate and a 12-foot cord. This is a 120 volt, 1200 watt max, 15 millimeter throw 5-inch polisher. Orbits per minute range from 3,000 to 5,800. The dimensions are 84 mils wide, 129 mils from the base of the backing plate to the top of the polisher, and you know how much room you can squeeze it into, and 17 inches or 431 mils is the length. A rather light polisher weighing in at just over 5.5 pounds. Airflow enters the polisher at this end and exits right here, keeping the armature and the motor cool as you do your work. The areas where you grip the polisher are covered with a non-slip rubber. There's also a rail at the top of the polisher, so you can set it upside down and it will not tip over, putting your pad against the floor. This is a 6-speed variable speed polisher with soft start. There are only 2 drawbacks on this polisher. This is one right here. This is a thermoplastic 12-foot cord instead of the thermoset rubber, which I enjoy. We'll get to the other drawback a little bit later. The backing plate is just far enough away from the shroud that you do not need a washer mod. I hope you can see there. As we ease on into the look inside segment, we'll remove the backing plate first. This is one of the best ventilated backing plates you're going to see, coming in from where the pad attaches to the backing plate, exiting up through the backing plate into the shroud, and then finally exiting the shroud vents. Right here you see the 515. This is on the counterbalance and also on the eccentric block, and that will tell you everything's set up for a 5-inch backing plate on a 15 millimeter throw for the least amount of vibration and wobble. We want to get to the gear casing, so we have to remove these plastic cap screws. We can slide off the grip, and right there is the pin. That will lock the eccentric block, so either you can twist it counterclockwise to remove the whole unit, or just go ahead and remove the screws and get the counterweight out of the way so we can remove the shroud. Either way, it depends on the polisher. There are different ways to get to the gearbox. This happens to be one of them for this polisher. With the counterweight out of the way, you can get to the 4 Phillips head screws that are holding the shroud to the polisher. Get to know your polishers, guys, inside and out. That's why I like to share the teardowns with you. If you have a polisher that's out of rotation, tear it down to the last nut and bolt, put it back together, and learn repairs. I had 2 polishers go down during the busiest time of the year for me. Had I not known repairs or known about polishers and how to throw one together quickly, I would have been in a little bit of trouble, because a customer does not care about a polisher's customer service if they want their car back in a timely manner. I got it back in a timely manner because I knew how to repair it. So I hope that helps. As we take the gears apart, I can show you the ring gear and the sealed bearing attached to it. What we have to do here is get rid of that crap factory grease and replace it with some quality lithium high temperature gear lube. I myself, I'll take an old microfiber, dig out as much as I can, then spray some Citral 266 in there to get it really clean, and then fill it up with anything that's high temp and good for U-joints, steering linkage, ball joints, bearings. Any high temp lithium grease will do. My favorite is Wolfhead's Red. Okay, so we want to get the armature out of the casing, out from the field winding. So there are 4 Phillips head screws right here. Remove those, but don't pull on it. I'm going to show you what to do right after you remove those 4 screws. With those 4 removed, we're going to immediately go to the cord and the trigger end of the polisher, where there are 5 more Phillips head screws to remove. Slowly and carefully separate the casing, and normally in the inside of a quality casing you're going to see PAGGF30. That means the body is nylon glass fiber, strong, impact resistant casings. A very nice build-in here. Clean wiring, the 8-amp switch tucked away. Here's the other drawback. The speed dial doesn't have tactile feedback, so if you bump against it with your thumb or your fingers, you can change the speed without knowing it. The PCB is coated. I love to see that. I love to see the brass brush holders. And to remove the brushes, just pull this spring away, move it to the side, grab the brush, pull it up away from the commutator, and then do that on both sides, and we can finally pull the armature out from the coils and the field winding and get this thing apart. I like seeing everything I'm coming across here so far. Maybe one thing I would change out. So let me point everything out. First, we have the sealed bearings at the end here. The commutator, that's where the brush is right on, right there. And the great thing to see is the epoxy that hold the field windings together on the commutator. There's clean laminations right there. And the field windings are coated with a resin. And I like to see that, resin dipped. Now, the fan, I would change from that to a directional fan to keep it cool. And this is what I'm talking about. Let me compare it to something that's well built. Directional fan, the larger laminations, there's the epoxy. We like to see that. These things have a lot of vibration, guys. Without that epoxy, you could have a short very easily. So let me run it for you. So it does have the soft start feature, locking trigger, the speed dial here, and I can tell you, and I'll try to relay this and put numbers behind it towards the end of the video, but it's very quiet and doesn't have a ton of vibration. In fact, let me do this for you right now. We're going to set the speed for this polisher on the 4th speed setting. And let me get out my decibel meter here, and let me show you what we get with the ShineMate EX620 515. Let's compare that to the Torque 21. And this polisher as well, all set on the 4th speed setting. And why don't we throw in a Griot's Garage Boss polisher? All right, let's do the same thing for vibration. All polishers set on the 4th speed setting. So yeah, the ShineMate here has been a pleasure to use so far. Especially the EX620 515 here, not a ton of vibration or noise. It's easy on your hands, and I highly recommend. This has been Brian from Apex Detail. Catch you in the next video.